Many athletes have served in our country's military, but thankfully, as global conflicts have died down and service is now voluntary, fewer and fewer professional athletes have made the choice to enter the military. That being said, I would like to thank and acknowledge the following athletes who made the tough decision and sacrifice to be part of our armed forces, and in some cases, give their lives for our country. I would also like to thank all of our veterans, including my father, who served in the Air Force for 26 years. Because of the sacrifices and commitments our veterans have made, we can enjoy our freedom. You stand for those who cannot. And before I get into this, I want to thank SeatGeek for making this video possible. SeatGeek is a mobile app that aggregates ticket prices from all over the web, gives them a color-coded and numerical rating, lets you see the view from your seats before you come in the building, and is done safely and securely right on your phone. Download the SeatGeek app from the link below and enter in my code FPG in the Me tab and get $20 back on your first order. SeatGeek! David Robinson. The Admiral wasn't just a nickname, it had meaning to it. David Robinson, the two-time NBA champion, Hall of Fame center, and all-around great guy, enrolled in the Naval Academy in 1983, despite being technically 4F because he was 6 feet 8 foot tall. What's interesting about Robinson was that he was actually not heavily recruited out of high school, but a tremendous growth spurt made it obvious he was meant to play ball, so he chose the Naval Academy as his father had also served in the Navy. Once Robinson finished a stellar career on the court for Navy and graduated, he needed to fulfill his obligation to our country. Despite his height, Robinson was permitted to receive a commission in the Navy Reserves and fulfill only a 2-year obligation as a civil engineering officer. Though he never made it to the rank of Admiral, Robinson was drafted by the Spurs and went on to enjoy a Hall of Fame career. Bob Kalsu. Joining the military takes tremendous bravery, and walking away from a career in professional athletics must be a tough decision. In many cases before, athletes that had joined the military were largely used as political figures and rarely saw combat. Few, if any, perished in battle. Bob Kalsu didn't just choose to serve, he chose to give everything. An All-American tackle at the University of Oklahoma, Kalsu finished school in 1967 and was the Bills' starting guard in 1968, being named the team's Rookie of the Year. Before being drafted into the NFL, Kalsu had already chosen to fulfill his commitment to serve in the military, having been in ROTC in college. Kalsu was deployed to Vietnam in November 1969 as a member of the 101st Airborne Division. Less than 2 years later, Kalsu was killed on July 21, 1970, under heavy enemy mortar fire. Kalsu is survived by his daughter and his son, who was born only hours before he was killed in action. Kalsu and former Brown, Don Steinbrenner, were the only professional football players to be killed in the Vietnam War. Amon Hall. A former fullback at the University of Texas, Amon Hall found himself in the NFL via a road less traveled. Not recruited as a high school player at the age of 18, he chose to enlist in the Marine Corps and was deployed in both Kosovo and Afghanistan as a field radio operator from 1998 to 2002. After serving in the military, Hall enrolled at the University of Texas and was able to walk on to the football team and even won a national championship with them in 2005. Hall was signed as a free agent in 2006 and enjoyed a 5-year playing career, serving primarily as a blocking fullback, accumulating 80 rushing yards and 561 receiving yards for the Tennessee Titans. Alejandro Villanueva. If you didn't know, Steelers offensive tackle Alejandro Villanueva served in the military, then you probably live under a rock, but you might not know his backstory. Villanueva is the son of Spanish natives Ignacio Villanueva and Matilda Martin. He was born on Naval Air Station Meridian in Mississippi and lived in Rhode Island, Spain, and Belgium, his dad being an officer in the Spanish Navy. While in Belgium, he was recruited by the Army Black Knights and would enroll at West Point in 2006 and graduate in 2010. Upon graduating, Villanueva fulfilled his obligation to the U.S. military and served 3 tours in Afghanistan. During his first stint in Afghanistan, Villanueva was awarded the Bronze Star for rescuing wounded soldiers while under enemy fire. When he left service in 2013, he was a member of 1st Range Battalion and had served as a platoon leader and Company XO. Following his military career, he was signed by the Eagles in 2014 as a defensive end, and then in 2015 he converted to offensive tackle and was signed by the Steelers, where he has been their starting left tackle since 2016. He signed a 4-year, $24 million contract with the Steelers in 2017. Of course, many will remember him simply as the man who wanted to stand for his country, but I'm willing to bet his fellow soldiers whom he helped rescue think he is much braver than just that. Pat Tillman. You almost cannot mention serving and athletics without mentioning Pat Tillman. Following an outstanding career at Arizona State, Tillman was a hometown hero who played for the Arizona Cardinals from 1998 to 2001. And then the world changed. The day after 9/11, Tillman made a conscious decision to join the Army. In 2002, Tillman was offered $3.6 million over 3 years to return to the NFL. He politely declined, and in May of 2002, he and his brother enlisted in the United States Army, and both were assigned to the 2nd Ranger Battalion. I think what is interesting here is that he chose to enlist in the Army rather than become a commissioned officer, which is typically a much less intense training, and officers are rarely given frontline combat deployments. Pat Tillman was all in. Tillman would participate in the initial invasion of Iraq in 2003 and then subsequently completed Ranger School. He was redeployed to Afghanistan shortly thereafter. On April 22, 2004, Pat Tillman was killed in a friendly fire incident as he was aiding his fellow soldiers who were suspected to be under attack. During the confusion of the moment, Tillman was accidentally shot and killed. Much controversy surrounded his death. However, I'm not here to dissect what happened that day or the aftermath. What we know is Pat Tillman gave the ultimate sacrifice for his country and for what he believed in. Tillman was posthumously awarded the Silver Star. His number 40 was retired by the Cardinals and is enshrined in their Ring of Honor. Statues of Pat Tillman are at both ASU and the Cardinal Stadium. Pat Tillman was 27 years old. Thank you for watching this video, but more importantly, thank you to our veterans who have served in the military. Freedom isn't free. And I want to thank my sponsor, SeatGeek. Don't forget to download the SeatGeek app from the link below and enter in the code FPG in the Me tab and get $20 back on your first order. I'm 5 Points Vids, and you made it to the end of this video.